Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Quaker Sports Recap. This spring season is underway, and the temperatures may be cool, but the action is hot. I stopped by boys lacrosse, girls JV and varsity lacrosse, JV softball, varsity baseball, and the flag football season opener, which I'll tell you about next. Let's get right to it. Expectations were high and hopes were huge as the Orchard Park Quakers flag football team faced off against the Tigers from Amherst on a cold and windy Monday to open their season. Well begun was half done as Reagan Hill intercepted a bobbled Amherst pass on the first play of the game. Maggie Gosella found Hill on her way to the end zone, giving Orchard Park the early lead, a lead which they would not surrender. Gosella and Hill hooked up again on a 28-yard catch and run on 4th and 10 for Orchard Park's next touchdown. Katie Kelly celebrated her 18th birthday with the conversion to double OP's lead to 14. Gosella mixed it up a bit for the next touchdown, tossing a long 26-yard strike into the end zone, which was caught by Hallie Senfield. The conversion failed, keeping OP's lead to 20. Next up was Caroline Brown, who darted and weaved her way into the end zone for an 18-yard rush. With the conversion, Lily Wisniewski gave Orchard Park a 27-0 lead into the locker room at the half. With the game well in hand, OP added a beautiful 30-yard strike by Gosella, who hit Wisniewski in full stride for the touchdown. Margaret McCann added one last touchdown for OP on a 30-yard quarterback keeper for the touchdown. Katie Kelly added a final point on the conversion to blow out the candle for the game, before blowing out the candles on her birthday cake, capping off Orchard Park's 42-12 blowout victory. I caught up with Coach Ferrara and Coach Weiss after the game to talk about the big season opening win. Congratulations to both coaches today on an impressive win. And Coach Weiss, today was a very impressive win. Starting out 1-0 in a very impressive fashion. How do you keep the girls confident but humble at the same time?
Oh, man, tough question. I said only softballs for me. Okay. So I think one thing that's really important is making sure that they understand that it is just one game. Obviously we have, big goals. We want to do well in every game that we come out and play in. But I think just having the mindset of always getting a little bit better every day. I think having that mindset going into the season, going into every practice, going into every game allows them to realize, like, hey, you know what? We did a good job today, but we could still be better. There's things that we can clean up.
Hey, Coach Ferrara, on the very first play of the game, you guys got an interception and you got a touchdown 3 plays later. How did a fast start like that set the tone for today's game?
Yeah, I think it set the tone because it was so much different from, I think really the way that we ended our season last year. We played a lot of good football all throughout last season and even at the end of the season, but for some reason it seemed like we always came out with our stomach in a knot and started off slow, and it took us a little bit, and eventually I feel like it did catch up to us. This year it was really nice to just kind of emphasize, hey girls, we're the better team, do your job, be in the right spot. And it paid off. The ball was there, and we got it right away, and all of a sudden we were, off and running. It just felt a little bit different. I think it's just getting back to fundamentals, really, being, diligent in our preparation and being ready for, whatever they had to throw at us,
Coach Weiss, say you had multiple penalties in the first 10 minutes. Was this just a sign of early game jitters, or is it something you need to address at practice?
Maybe a little bit of both. I do think that there's something to be said about it being the first, game action, the first time that you're back out there. But it is something that obviously we do want to clean up. Like I just said, in my previous answer, there's things for us to work on. That's certainly one of them. So I hope that it's not a sign of things to come. I think we'll get it fixed.
And Coach Ferrara, today is the earliest first game you've had in team history. How did you prepare the team for an early season start?
You know what? I wish I had some secret answer for you, Max, but it kind of just gets back to our off-season preparation and then at practice learning from years past and preparing and building on the things that we've sort of laid as a foundation, and the girls have really done a great job of laying as a foundation, and it just feels like things come together a little bit quickly, a little bit more quickly than they have in the past this year. And so even though it was the earliest start we've ever had, I didn't really notice it. I just felt like we were ready to rock and roll, and I think you saw it today. The only thing I really noticed with that, Max, is that we only really looked at our punt team once or twice. So when it was time to actually punt in the second half, people were a little bit scrambled. So that's a little bit of stuff that we'll work through. And maybe if we had a little bit more time, would have been a little bit cleaner. But I didn't even notice it, and I gotta say, pay homage to the girls. I feel like they were ready.
And Coach Weiss, how do you prepare for the next game on Friday against Hamburg at home?
So I think tomorrow we're going to start with some film, kind of look back and see what we did right, what we did wrong, what we can learn from today's experience. And I think that's really beneficial to the girls because for some of them, that might be their first time really sitting down and watching film for a sport. A lot of them have told me in the past that they don't really do that for a lot of their other sports. So being able to kind of look back and reflect on their experience, I think is actually like a huge part of the learning process and is really helpful. So we'll start with that. We actually have a scrimmage on Wednesday too. That'll help us, kind of work on some things that we maybe need to iron out. Maybe we get that punt team out there and get a couple practice runs in there with that. And then it's really just another solid day of practice on Thursday. Like I said, our goal every day is to just get a little bit better. So as long as we're doing that each of those 3 days, and again, 3 different ways, right? Film, a scrimmage, and then a practice. As long as we have that mindset, I think it kind of lends itself to preparing yourself for that kind of game. So looking forward to it. We have seen them before. We've seen them, played them, I think, every year. And we saw them in the off season with some stuff. So kind of have an idea of what to expect with them. So should be good.
Well, thank you. That was an impressive win for our flag football team on a cool spring evening. Or as Coach Ferrara says, it's good football weather. Of course, flag football wasn't the only team with games last week. Let's see how all of our teams did. Softball opened their season with 2 nice wins, while JV had a massive win over Cardinal O'Hara. JV and varsity baseball dropped 2 games to last year's Section 6 AA champions, Clarence. Girls lacrosse had 2 dominant wins last week before dropping a hard-fought battle to last year's Section 5 runner-up Canandaigua. In their 2 Section 6 games, Ella Fercucci scored 15 goals and 7 assists, bringing her total to 23 goals and 16 assists on the season, leading the team in both categories. Boys lacrosse dominated Kenmore, and JV also had a successful week. On varsity, Jarek Bresky had 3 goals and 5 assists for 8 points to lead the team against Kenmore. Luke Dana, Oliver Cromwell, and Justin Roloski each added 5 points of their own. Zach Dana scooped 8 ground balls and caused 2 turnovers. Tennis won their scrimmage over Olean in preparation for their season opener against West Seneca today at home. Flag football had an impressive win over traditionally high-scoring Amherst to open their season before dropping a heartbreaker to Hamburg. Great job, Quakers! Up next, we have a 7 or so questions segment with baseball player Grant Pionzik. Let's learn a little bit more about Grant. What is your favorite class you have taken at OPHS?
Favorite class taken? DDP was really fun. Making a lot of things, doing like a different bunch of projects. It was a good time. Just making a bunch of stuff.
DDP is fun. I recommend taking it.
Yeah.
What is the most underrated skill in baseball?
So underrated skill, it's your IQ. By far, you can have all the skill and talent in the world, but if you don't have the IQ, and you can't really go far.
If you had to turn into one superhero, who would it be?
Superhero. Ooh. DC or like Marvel?
Anything.
Oh, okay.
You superhero guy?
I'm big going like Moon Knight,
Moon Knight?
two different personas, like high IQ one persona, and then little warrior on his other persona.
It's kind of like Two-Face, right?
Yeah, kind of Two-Face. It's kind of cool.
What was your favorite TV show from when you were a kid?
From a kid? I grew up on like Wonder Pets and the Backyardigans. That was like mine growing up. As I got older, How I Met Your Mother is a big one.
What is the best place to get chicken wings from?
Best place to get chicken wings. I'm just go Barbell.
Yes.
I haven't
it's the greatest.
I haven't been to Wing Nuts yet, but I would say probably Barbell is the best one.
Maybe I should try wing nuts tonight. Blue cheese or ranch? I might have to end the interview if you say ranch.
Blue cheese, man. Oh no, blue cheese. It's over. It's over on top. Come on.
100%. Would you rather travel back into the future or back to the past?
Go to the future or go to the past? I'll go to the past. I want to relive some great memories and like moments from history. I want to let the future run.
What year and where?
What year? Man, I'd love to go back to like, I don't know, like the 50s, like when like the Yankees were in like those runs of World Series.
Mickey Mantle.
Those times. Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, all those times. Those have been a great time to watch baseball.
So right in the Bronx?
Right in the Bronx. Oh yeah, I would live right in the city. Probably do some like finance job, and just watching baseball all day.
That sounds like a good life. What is one game you're looking forward to this season?
One game I'm looking for this season is definitely our senior night on May 17th. It's going to be a great time to just celebrate all the seniors that are graduating this year and just have one last time playing with the guys.
Thanks for watching this week's Quaker Sports Recap. With over 25 games on the calendar, I hope that you are able to get out and enjoy watching our athletes compete in a game, match, or meet. Hopefully, I will see you there so together we can shout, Go Quaker!